recording today's session and we're going to make it available on the AARP Florida virtual library. So you'll be able to go back to it again and again, and you can even share it with friends and family. So thank you, Sonya, for that reminder.
You are welcome. All right, thanks everyone for joining me. This is the 6th in our series of 6 that we were offering with this initial program, this trial, and this is chair yoga. So you will want a dining room or kitchen chair, a straight chair, no wheels, please. And it would also be great if you had a block or a roll of toilet paper, full roll of toilet paper. You just need a little something to give you some spacing. We use it between our legs, our knees, and we use it to reach the floor when our arms and legs can't reach the floor as easily. And then a folded blanket or folded towel, bath towel, it will be helpful. And I'll show you in a little while why we need to raise our seat sometimes to get our hips higher than our knees. So please take a time right now, walk away and go get that. Oh, and then always, I forgot, I have mine here. Please get a dish towel. Hand towels are sometimes too thick and fluffy, but dish towels are thin enough that we can wrap our fists, our hands around them. And we're going to use these a lot for our upper chest, our thoracic spine work, and our shoulder work. And so dish towel is very handy for that, in addition to, washing dishes and drying fingertips when you wash your hands. So that's what we'll need for class today. Let's come together and get started. So, and you will hear the rumble of thunder in the background because the storm has just moved into downtown Tampa and I'm right here on the bay. So you will hear that in the background, but it's not the helicopters and the sirens from a couple of weeks ago when we had the protesters happening. So there's always something happening. This is our connection to the community. This is yoga. When we connect to what's going on in our surroundings, when we have that mind, body, that somatic experience, that is the practice of yoga. So welcome. Get comfortable. Just sit comfortably in your chair first, however it is that you sit. Place your hands, let them be heavy in your lap. Place your hands on your thighs. You can have palms down for grounding energy, or you can turn palms up in a receiving mode, almost as if we were, antenna, radio antenna, and just receiving whatever we need to feel or be inspired or to remember. So you choose palms down or palms up. And let's take just a few big, deep breaths right now to gather, to be here. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Open the mouth and sigh it out. And 2 more. In through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose. And exhale it out. So good. Now, let's breathe mindfully. Let's breathe with purpose. And the breath I've been using this entire series is 3-stage breath. Very, very critical and important for us in our pulmonary health. And so 3-stage breath means you breathe into the belly. We're not really breathing into the belly. I understand it as the lungs. But when we breathe down low into the lower lobes of the lungs, it feels like the belly moves out like a balloon. So breathe in there. Let it get soft and feel like a balloon, and then keep breathing. Keep inhaling all the way into the chest until you feel the ribs expand. Keep breathing a little more, all the way up to the throat, and then pause for just a couple heartbeats, only as you're comfortable, and then push it all out. Whoosh, get it all out, all out, all out. So much so that you have to use your belly. You have to use that diaphragm, that abdominal muscle, to push the last of the air out. Continue doing this at your pace. Inhale into the belly. Inhale into the chest and ribs. Inhale up to the throat and chin. Pause, and then exhale it. Push, push, push it all out. This takes effort. It is not an easy breath. It requires muscles, it requires focus and attention. To take such a big breath, to find our lungs' capacity, is a good thing to do periodically, at least weekly, and certainly right now when pulmonary health and upper respiratory infections and viruses and germs are all abounding. This is so good for us to clean out our breathing space, to open up and use all the edges of our lungs. This is valuable. While you breathe this 3-stage breath, I will share with you some words from current or present day philosopher and poet Young Pueblo and his book of a few years ago called Inward. On page 94, Young Pueblo tells us, allow yourself to transform as many times as you need to be fully happy and free. So let's do that. Let's allow ourselves to transform as many times as we need to be fully happy and free. I'll begin class now. Bring your hands together at heart center, perhaps placing the thumbs lightly on your breastbone, on your chest. I'll chant Om one time, and you're welcome to join me because you're on mute, so you don't have to be self-conscious. You can sing loudly, as the nuns at parochial school used to tell us all. Or you may choose to receive the sound. Inhale. Om. Bow your head into your heart space. Feel your breath and feel the warmth. Feel your breath on your hands. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. That breath is your power to change, your power to speak up, your power to advocate, your power to release and let go. And your magic is your heart space, that space of forgiveness and compassion, of love and trust. Bring your thumbs now to your forehead, between your brows, and then lift your head up or your chin up as if you're draining, as if we're opening and letting things flow from our thoughts in our head. Let it flow down our center, down into our body, down into the place we're going to move with this practice. And then lower your chin, drop your hands and open your eyes. And let's get started. Okay, bring your body, bring your bottom, your hips to the front edge of the chair. Be secure, be comfortable that you are supported, but we want lots of space behind us on the seat so that we can move our bodies. Now, take a look, lean forward and look down at your feet and have the feet be forward enough that the ankles, the heels, are directly below the knee. So that if we were being a stick figure being drawn, there would be lots of square corners, lots of 90-degree angles. And then, if you have a yoga block or a roll of toilet paper, place it lightly in between your thighs, right about knee distance. So we're going to practice this seated foundation, seated posture, which is really good if you're working from home and you sit a lot at a desk. There is also a standing posture, and we'll review that a little bit later also. Press your feet firmly into the floor. Squeeze the legs into the midline, just gently into that block that we have, that spacer that we have between our legs. And now engage the low belly as if you're zipping, when you zip jeans or pants, slacks, and you have to move things out of the way. Just engage the low belly. Now raise the ribs, bring the ribs to extend away from the waistline. Open up that space, that abdominal torso space, so that our ribs aren't resting and dropping down into our hips, but instead we're lifting our ribs up with our own muscles. Now, bring your thumbs under your arms in sort of a Farmer John look, if we had overalls on. And you'll feel the flesh of your front torso, the flesh of your chest space. Pull up, rise up to make that long side body. But some of us bring our shoulders also, and I'm going to ask, drop the shoulders. Let the shoulders be soft and drop down, but hold the ribs and the clavicle, the breastbone, the chest space. Hold this up. Even as we let our hands come down to our laps now, we're sitting as tall as possible. Check your chin. Drop it just slightly as if you're clearing your throat, and slide your ears back. Slide your ears back over your shoulders. This is seated mountain pose. So review again as we're sitting here, feet press into the floor, legs press into the midline, engage the low belly, tip the pelvis forward just slightly to show off the back pockets, just a little bit, raise the ribs away from the waistline, lift that arm's eye, the seamstress term for clothing, the underarm, raise the arm's eye, keep the shoulders soft and low, check your chin, slide your ears back. This is seated mountain. So good. Take 2 big breaths here using that 3-stage breath that we began class, into the belly, into the chest, up into the throat, and then get it all out. 2 of those. Now, let's add movement with deep breathing, and we'll do some seated chair, cow and cat. Inhaling, lean forward as if we're curious about something ahead of us, and bring the elbows back behind us. Squeeze the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades. Keep your chin checked. Slide your ears back. Big stretch of the spine, long stretch of the spine. Now exhaling, roll back onto those back pockets and bring your chin to your chest. Reach your hands forward and pull the shoulder blades off the back. Really stretch into that. Let's do this now to match with your breath so you can move at your pace. Let's do 4 more. Inhaling forward, squeezing back. Exhaling, roll back and reach forward. Lots of opposites in yoga. Inhale, extend the spine long. Exhale, push and curl the spine small. 2 more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. 1 more. Inhale, spine is long, elbows back, shoulder blades squeeze. Exhale, curl up, small and tight, tuck and roll, and stretch and reach. So good. All right, now the spine moves in 6 directions, and we've just explored 2 of them. We did forward and back. Now we're going to go from side to side. So it'll be seated side stretch. Inhale, raise an arm up over your head. And then exhale, lean over to the side and let that hand hang. Let the wrist maybe even rest on the top of your head. The other arm, the lower arm, dangles free. So the arm is dangling and the other arm is reaching. The elbow is pointing. It's the elbow point as if we are puppets, and that's the string pulling us up. Squeeze the legs into the midline. Squeeze it into the block or the spacer you have. Breathe, stretch those ribs open to the side. Big breaths into the lungs. So good, and come back up. Whew, there's a lot going on. Wiggle a little, get the circulation. This is so good for us, for our immune system, for our endocrine system. All of this is what we need. Inhale, other arm straight up. Reach up to the ceiling, reach, 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 and then exhale. Lean over. The top of the head the hand can rest on the top of the head. The elbows reaching for the ceiling. The lower arm dangles. It just hangs off the chair, hangs from our shoulder. Breathe here. Squeeze the legs into the midline. Engage the low belly as if you're moving things out of the way to zip. And you're stretching open, breathing into that side body, feeling the ribs expand. So good. Come back to center. Whew. Let's do it again. We're going to make it a little more challenging, only if you want to. And here's something very important to understand. Anytime you practice yoga with me or anyone else, and whether it's in person or whether it's online, you get to choose what works for you. If it's not good for your body, because only you know your body the best, If it's not good for your body, or if it's not good for you today, don't go there. Always come back to a place that works for you, which can be even just sitting and waiting for the next pose, or moving into a version, a smaller, gentler version of the expression that works for you. Inhale, the first arm up. Stretch and reach. Exhale, lean over to the side. Now that bottom arm grabs the chair. So find a place that you can hold on to and feel safe, feel secure. Now that lets you maybe you can lean a little more because now that arm is holding you up. Or maybe you push, use that arm to push into that opposite hip and you feel the crunch a little more. You choose, and then find a place you want to be, and you may stay here or you may join me in some rotation. Move the elbow back out of the way, turn the head and nose to look up at the ceiling, take a breath in, then turn the nose down to look at the floor. Exhale while you reach that arm out straight like you're trying to shake a hand or touch the wall on the other side of the room. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, the elbow bends and moves back out of the way so that we can turn and look up at the ceiling. Exhale, turn and look at the floor. Reach that arm out, stretch, stretch, stretch. 1 more, a lot of work going on here in the torso and the back. Inhale, look up, move that arm out of the way. Exhale, look down and reach that arm across. So good. Come to center. Whew, that's some yummy. You can feel it all down that side body and our core working. Okay, let's do the second side. Same thing. Arm goes up into the air. First stretch, reach the ceiling. Reach, reach, reach. Then exhale, come over to the side. This time the hand is supporting. Find a place on the chair to hold yourself. And now you can maybe lean a little more, see what that's like, or push into that hip and get a little more curled. You choose. Now you may stay here for 3 big deep breaths, or you can move with me and explore turning the head up to look as we inhale, and then turning the nose down and reaching the arm out straight across as we exhale. 2 more. Inhale, look up. Exhale, rotate, turn and look down, and the arm moves out. Last one. Inhale, the elbow bends and it moves back out of the way over our head as we look up. Exhale, turn and look at the floor. Reach that arm out. So good. All right, let's get some things flowing now in our entire torso. Let's do some twisting. So hands on the shoulders and stick the elbows out. In fact, stick them up higher than you think, as if you're really trying to be annoying to somebody next to you. Remember your cousin or your younger sibling? Yes, let's do that. Now, engage the low belly, squeeze the legs into the midline, and then lightly just twist and turn. Keep your head and neck straight like dancers do, spotting. Just twist, just explore what it feels like down our torso, down our ribs, maybe along our side body, maybe into our back body, maybe our hips. Just keep twisting and turning. It's been a few seconds now, so maybe go a little faster, maybe not. You choose. You choose what's best for you. Maybe now, as you're moving and allowing momentum, you'll find that you're turning more from side to side than when we began. This is because we have fluids in our joints, in our vertebra, in our spine, called synovial fluid, and it warms up with movement. And like old cars that had oil that needed to warm up and run through the engine before we could begin driving it, this is what our body needs too. We need movement to lubricate our joints, to lubricate our bones. So good. Whew. So now that we're here, keeping your hands on your shoulders, now we're going to practice swimming with our elbows and use the entire body, your entire torso. So let's do the crawl. Well, I guess now it's called freestyle. But so we're going to lift one elbow all the way up. See if you can poke the ceiling with it. You have to move from side to side. The entire body has to bend in order for our arm to have freedom in that shoulder socket. And as we age, that shoulder socket gets clunky and creaky and bumpy and sticky. So we have to use it, really go from side to side. Super swimmers. Now, backstroke. Big, slow, deep. And our torso moves, our hips move from side to side while we reach that elbow up higher than you think. As high as you can, but safely. Go where it works for you. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't go, don't do it. All right, now, the stroke I could never do in swim class, butterfly. So now our spine is going to undulate again, like we did with cat-cow. So here we go, start curve down, curl up with the elbows down, and now let's reach up and bring the elbows forward. So come on, the whole spine has to move. Big, slow, deep, as we're slow motion, as if we are synchronized swimmers. Remember when that was popular and they were so pretty with their decorated swim caps? So come on, let's get big, over and around, feel the spine move. You're gonna be going back and forth in the chair to make this big, big circular movement. Now, if there were a stroke, it's backwards butterfly. So now both elbows go up and back and down and around. So your spine has to stretch again and curl again. Up and over, down and around. A couple more. It's a lot of work, I get it. We have to be in it. I specialize in therapeutic biomechanics, which means I help people gain mobility through strength. And that's what we need to do, is bring in all our muscles, all the teams on our body, all the members of our body, in order to be able to do complex muscle chain actions so that we can stay sustainable, so that we can stay functional in our own fitness, so that we can do what we want to do in the quality of life that we want to have as we get older. Okay, now we're going to do twist again, but it's going to be deep, deep core inside twist. We're going to use the muscles that are right around the spine in order to move us all around. So here we go. Sitting at the front edge, again, we're sitting at the front edge of the seat. Check your foundation, ankles are below the knees. Squeeze the legs slightly. We don't kill it, just squeeze it slightly. Don't smash it, I should say. Don't squeeze don't smash the block, but just squeeze slightly into the spacer and you'll feel your lap engage. It's that same sensation. If we didn't have the block or the spacer, you could still do it. Like it's called engaging your lap. If someone were coming over and bringing something to rest on your lap and you don't want it to slide through, you know how you brace, which means we hug the muscles to the bone. We hug in and we prepare, we brace for it, we prepare for it. That's what we're doing. That's the same motion. So you don't have to have the spacer there. The spacer is just a reminder. It gives us a reason to sort of squeeze in. When we squeeze in, you'll feel it along your back line and you'll feel it in your buttocks and your glutes. Now engage that low belly, raise the ribs away from the waistline, all the basics again. Get your arms eye up, but the shoulders low. So now with our arms hanging at our sides, bend the elbows and turn the palms up as if we're serving a tray or as if we're getting ready to have a tray in our hands. Inhale, long spine. As you exhale, turn the navel over to the right. Just turn over to the right hip as a back pocket. Stay here. Inhale again, long spine. Now turn the ribs. Keep turning just the ribs. Use the deep inside muscles. Just turn the ribs as if we're a statue, but we're twisted. Here we go again. Inhale again. Now turn the shoulders. Turn the shoulders. And now place the hands down. The front hand is going to reach across to that opposite leg, pulling in the thigh. The back hand reaches for the chair somewhere. Inhale the fourth time. Inhale, long spine. Now check your chin. Slide your ears back and turn your nose to gaze over the back shoulder, maybe over the back of the chair. Move your eyes into the corners of your eye sockets. We have to practice peripheral vision. We have to practice rolling our eyes around to keep our muscles and nerves and connections healthy and active. Be here. One more big breath in this big, big twist. Feet press into the floor. Knees press into the midline. Oh, so good. Come to center. And sit a moment to breathe because there's a lot going on. We activated head stuff with the eyes. We activated glandular stuff with all of that twist and focus, which is what we need. We need to keep this flushing and healthy, right? All of our lymph. We activated our circulatory system and our immune system by moving as tightly and strongly as we did. So now that we're centered, check your foundation again. Feet, ankles, knees, thighs, low belly, ribs, shoulders, chin, ears. Now, arms are down at our sides. Bend the elbows, so turn the palms up, and let's visit the other side. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, turn to the left, just the low belly, just like you're trying to bring your belly over to that pocket. Inhale again, and keep turning. Turn the ribs, as you exhale. Inhale again. Turn the ribs, move as you exhale, turning the shoulders, move the shoulders as far as you can, and then place the hands. The front hand is on that opposite knee, the back hand is on the chair. Inhale a fourth time. And then turn and look, pull into the twist. Check your chin, slide your ears back, move your eyes to the corners, look as far back as you can look. Stay for 2 breaths, squeezing the legs into the midline, pressing the feet into the floor, engage the low belly. There's a lot going on. Come forward. Whew. And here we are. So this is a lot of work that we've just done. So now we're going to change it up just a little bit. Good job, by the way. So now let's do some hip work. We do a lot of life sitting like this, right? With legs narrow, and we walk the same way, and we run the same way, or we cycle the same way, and we drive the same way, and we type, and we do all of this in the same, or so. We do all of this in the same sitting, and we need to open up our hips. We really need to explore our hip sockets a lot like we were exploring our shoulder joints earlier. So move your knees wide. I have a square chair. I have a square seated chair, and the corners hurt me. They get in my way if I stay sitting forward. So you'll notice that I actually turn myself in my chair. I sit crooked in my chair so that the corner of the chair is between my legs. And I have space now underneath my thighs. It doesn't bother me. So move your knees as wide as you can by themselves, without hands. Just move, open them as wide as you can. There's no prize, so it doesn't matter. Just go where it works for you today. Engage the low belly. Raise the ribs away from the waistline. Drop the shoulders, but lift the arms high. Check your chin. Here we go. Take a look at your legs and make sure that the feet are in the same direction as the legs. So if my arms, if these are my legs, if I've turned my arms, my knees out, but my feet are still in, that's not healthy for me in movement, for alignment. So have the feet be lined up with the legs. Okay, now adjust yourself if you need to for flesh and bones on the sitting surface. Have your hands on your thigh. Have your thumbs to the inside and your fingers to the outside. And we're going to use our elbows, our arms. We're going to keep our arms very elbowy, very spindly. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, come forward. But we're using our arms to hold us up and to push our thighs down and away slightly as we lean forward. If you are on heart medicine, or you've had a heart attack or heart surgery, you'll need to stay as upright as your heart. So head and heart can be flat. You can be parallel with the floor, but you won't go lower. Stay here and breathe. Push the legs down and open slightly. Let your elbows be nice and spindly in the air. Feel your shoulder blades behind you on your back. Get your feet really big in the floor, as if we're trying to make footprints in the sand. Check your chin. I know you might be looking up at the screen to see me, but I haven't moved. Check your chin. Slide your ears back. Breathe here. Okay, now push your hands down to sit up. We're going to do this again. And of course, we're going to add a little more to it. Only if you want to. You may always just return to where we visited. So inhale, long spine. Exhale, come forward. Now this time, we're going to add some movement. So the inhale will be coming up to prepare. The exhale is going to be twisting. We're going to turn as if we're trying to bring our chin or our belly or our ribs to one side, and the other arm pushes the back knee away. Inhale up. Let's turn to the other knee. So now it's as if we're trying to come across onto the other thigh, and the back arm is straight or straighter, pushing that back knee away. A few more. Inhale up. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale over. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale over. So good. Come on up. And now, staying with knees wide, let the muscles hold the knees by themselves. And now we're going to do some arm work. So inhale, arms up overhead. Stretch, stretch, and reach. Stretch, stretch, and reach. Breathe as you need. Hold the arms overhead. Engage the low belly. Press the feet into the floor. Hold the arms overhead. This is muscle strength training. Reach and stretch. The ribs are high. The shoulders are up and back. The arms are overhead. Feet pressing the floor. Legs are strong. Breathe. Stay here. Breathe. Now turn the palms outward and slowly bring the arms back, back and down, but behind us. Lean forward slightly and bring the arms back as if we were trying to squeeze behind us. Oh, that's good. Let's do two more. Inhale up. And we're going to stay here. Stretch, stretch, and reach. And while we're reaching up here, make some fists. And now do some fist rolls at the wrist. So the arms are straight up in the air, but we're turning our fists around. And we're holding our ribs up high. And our feet are pressing in the floor. And our knees are open. Reverse direction. Twist and twist. And it's tiring to be lifting and holding up so long, and it's so good for us. Bring the palms together, the palms outward, and then bring the straight arms out, down to our sides, and reach back behind us. Okay, one more. Here we go. Inhale up overhead. Straight, straight, straight up. If you can interlace your fingers, do so. If it works for your hands, for your fingers, for your joints. And if you can turn your palms out, do so. If you can't, then just bring fingertips together. Just touch your fingertips together up overhead. So you choose how you want to express this. So just fingertips together, turn the palms up to the ceiling. But our fingertips are touching, or we're interlacing the fingers. It's a different sensation, but we're just feeling it. And then lean forward slightly and bring the arms down, out wide, reaching back behind us. Okay, one more time now. We're going to come forward. So place the hands on the thighs again, thumbs to the midline, fingers to the outside. The elbows or the arms are bendy at the elbow. Inhale, big spine, long spine. Exhale, come forward. If you can reach the floor, do so. If not, maybe use the block or the roll of toilet paper, or just stay up, and it's okay. You do it what works for you. So if you're comfortable reaching the floor, and if it's good for your heart health, bring one hand to the floor, and then turn your torso and look over the other arm. Look over the other shoulder. Look past that elbow. Push the knees open. Breathe here. And then come back to center. Push back up. And breathe. And let's do the other side. Inhale, long spine to prepare. Exhale, come forward. Bring the hand to the floor or the block or the toilet paper or a stack of books. And then turn your torso over the other knee. Look over that shoulder. Look over that elbow. Push the hand down into the leg. Pull the flesh of the thigh. Pull it toward the knee as if we're trying to pull the leg out of the hip socket. Feel those connections. Breathe here. So good. And push yourself back up to sitting. All right. I'm going to show you how I've been sitting and then why we might want to change it. When you sit for long periods of time, especially if you're doing desk work of any kind or sewing or needlework, if you are sitting for a long time, please find a way to have your hip be at least level with your knee or slightly higher. So you can see, I tried to wear dark clothing so that you could see the difference. Here's my knee and here's my hip, and my hip is slightly higher. That is really healthy to allow our pelvis the movement that it takes to accommodate our legs and our knees so that our knees don't hurt so much and so that our low back doesn't hurt so much. However, if you already have knee pains or injuries or surgeries or tight hips or hip issues, hip joint issues, or low back injury or pain, then you want to sit even higher. And so that's when we're going to use the folded blanket or folded bath towel. Place it on the chair seat. And now you're going to see my hips are even higher than my knees. And this is really good to relieve my low back. We need hips, pelvis and hips higher than knees in order to allow the movement, the freedom of movement, and in order to allow our hip socket to move our bones, our femur bones, our thigh bones. Okay, so let's do some hip work. We started it with the wide-legged. Now we're going to do seated pigeon, which is also figure 4, cross-legged. Bring one leg over the other thigh, and it's the shin. You're going to cross the ankle. The ankle is resting on the opposite knee, on the opposite thigh. Flex that foot. Don't let it dangle. It needs to be in the game. So flex the foot. Bring the toes back. Spread the toes wide. And then press the knee down of its own. Don't press it yet. Just let it go down as it will. It often might be very, very high. And that would tell me that you're very tight in the hip or that you have low back injury or issues and that we would need to sit you up higher. That is my specialty. That's what I do. I do custom work with people who are recovering from surgery or injury or aging debilitations that affect our musculoskeletal system. And so if you are interested, Michelle has my contact information. I think it's even in the bio, and you can make private session appointments with me. That is what I do. That is my specialty. So squeeze the legs into the midline. Squeeze it in, even though we have big wide open lap. You're going to feel the core engage. Zip the low belly or engage the low belly. Raise the ribs away from the waist. Bring your hands to your hips. Squeeze the elbows back. Squeeze the elbows back. Open up this chest space. We do a lot of rounding. And so I'm asking you to open up heart first. Open up the chest space. Squeeze the shoulder blades and then come forward slightly. Just bring your nose forward as if you're curious. And be here. And your thigh or your hip or your sciatica or your SI joint or your IT band will tell you when you're forward enough. It will feel thick or sludgy, or it will make your eyebrows water. So come back away. Don't go where you don't need to go. Stay in the safe ground. Stay in the safe space. But we're staying on purpose with breath. Neuroscience is my background. It was my undergraduate studies. And neuroscience shows us the evidence in brain mapping and then our muscular reactions show us that it takes up to 2 minutes for our central nervous system to respond and release from old patterns of behavior. So if we're trying to move our body differently, if we're asking our body parts to go where we don't usually take them, we need to stay in it for a bit. And that's the power of the breath. So do the 3-stage breath now, into the belly, into the chest, up into the throat, and then exhale, soften, maybe lean a little more, maybe not, and come back out of it. Whew. And it can feel a little icky sticky. So we're going to stretch that leg out and then bring the knee in, and stretch that leg out and bring the knee in, and stretch that leg out and bring the knee in. All right, let's do the other side. Cross that leg over the hip, over the thigh. So it is the shin bone, it is the ankle that is on the thigh. The foot is off. The foot is off the leg. Flex the foot, dorsiflex is the proper terminology actually. Bring the toes back, spread them wide. The energy, push the energy out through the heel, squeeze the legs into the midline, engage the low belly, raise your ribs, open up the side body, soften the shoulders, hands to the hips, squeeze the elbows back, check your chin, slide your ears back, and then lean forward as if you're curious to see what might be on the ground in front of your feet. Breathe here. Press the knee down, that's floating in the air just on its own. Don't put any body weight on it yet. Just be in this space. Breathe. It takes a few breaths to calm down the brain, to calm down the muscles and ligaments and tendons and fascia, that connective tissue that holds everything together. It takes a few breaths to let your body know that you're safe and that you're asking it to do something it might not be used to doing, which can set off all sorts of alarms, especially if you have injuries or surgeries or limitations. Breathe, squeeze the legs into the midline, engage that low belly, and then rise up. Whew. All right, leg reaches out to the floor and then pull it in. Stretch it out straight and pull it in. One more time, reach out straight and pull it in. And let's visit the first side again. So now we know how to get in it. That front leg is still in that 90-degree foundation. The leg, the heel, the ankle is plumb with the knee. Squeeze the legs into the midline. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, lean forward. This time, maybe it will feel all right to put some body weight, to press your hands, your elbows, and lean forward onto that crossed leg. Much like gentlemen often sit, especially if they're in a meeting, right, or an interview. We've seen pictures where they lean forward with interest, but they've crossed their legs. Be in this if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, go back to hands on the hips and squeeze the elbows back behind you. So now, if we're in this place, leaning forward, let's try adding a little twist. So the arm of the knee that's in the air, put the hand on that knee, and then slightly press down upon it while you turn and look over that shoulder again, just like we did in the wide-legged forward fold. Now we're looking over that shoulder, looking over that arm, that elbow, as we press down very gently, very lightly onto that knee that's in the air. And come back to center. All right, whew, that's a lot. This time, bring the knee up with us. Lean back into the chair. And then we're gonna open the knee to the side and then swing it over. Open it to the side and then swing the foot over the thigh. Open the knee to the side and swing it over again. Sort of exploring, we're stirring the pot. If the thigh bone, femur bone, was a soup spoon, we're stirring the pot in our hip socket. Okay, let's do the second side. Here we go. Set your foundation. Sit in the forward edge of the chair. Nice squareness of ankle and knee to hip. Squeeze the legs together. Inhale, long spine, engage the low belly, raise the ribs. Exhale, come forward. And you may stay here always. Or perhaps feel what it's like to gingerly, gently, curiously lean some body weight onto that shin that is hanging in front of us. Flex that foot deeply, push the energy out through the heel. Be here and breathe. You may stay here, or you may see what it might be like to place the hand on that knee in the air and then push down gently as we turn our torso, turn our shoulders, our ribs, our gaze to look over that elbow, to look over that side behind us, breathing in this space, feeling the twist and the stretch, using strength to gain mobility. Come out of it, sit upright, bring the knee with us, and then over to the side and cross over the leg. Bring the knee open to the side and then bring the leg over as if we're crossing it. Over to the side and then up over the midline. So good. All right, come to standing and let's play with some balance. I have so much fun. I have so many things I could do, and I'm watching the clock. I'm realizing we don't have time for all the fun things. So I'll get on with it. So let's come to standing. If balance is not in your daily practice, then don't try it here. To wobbling and falling is not suggested. It's not recommended, and it's no fun. So have something to touch, and it can be light fingers, like piano fingers. It can be light fingers, or it can be a nice solid grip. You choose if you want to use a wall, if you want to use the chair or the tabletop or a counter, but find a place where you can stand and move, but you have your hand on something. Falling over is no fun. Okay, let's start with strong leg. Oh, first, actually, let's do some hip rotations. So hula hoops. So spread your feet wide enough that you are comfortable moving your torso around in a circle, moving your waist. The knees have to bend slightly, the waist bends, the hips move, the pelvis moves. Hands on the hips, and we do 5 rotations and then 5 hula hoops in the other direction. And big, slow, exaggerated is best. 1, so that we don't get dizzy and fall over, but 2, because we want to explore this range of motion. We want to see what's happening in our feet, in our knees, in our ankles, in our hips. And this is how we do it. Now, when we're standing tall or standing for long times, we have to have soft knees. So practice that. Do a little soft knee action. If you were doing a little salsa or a little dance, if you've done any of June's classes, or if you haven't, you will need to when she does them next, and she'll show you how to move. But we want some soft knees. Soft knees if you played sports when you were younger, or if you still do when you receive a pass or prepare to throw a pass, right? You have to have the soft knees. So get the soft knees for a strong standing supporting leg. All right, have your hand so that you can support yourself, and we're going to bring one leg up. So one leg up and the other leg is strong, but the knee is soft. And now open the knee to the side. So actually I'm going to switch so that my standing leg is the same hand that I'm holding onto. So the knee comes up, the opposite knee comes up, and we have room to open it to the side. And now we're going to do this a few more times. So cross it over like we're twisting, and then open it to the side. This is the inhaling here. Exhale, bring it over to the middle. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it over to the middle. One more. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it over to the middle. Whew, there's some work. Do some hippiness. Do some dance moves. And now we're going to go to the other side. So you might turn around. I'm not going to turn around so that you can see me, but now the hand is holding you up. That's the same leg. That's the same side that the standing leg is supporting you. So have your hand with the same leg that's standing and supporting you, and then bring the other knee up. Flex the foot, bring the toes up, energy out through the heel. So here we go. Open it to the side. So good. And then across to the midline. Inhale, open to the side. Exhale, cross to the midline. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. One more. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. So good. Come down and do some more little hula hoops or little salsa or little figure eights. Get some movement. Feel what's happening in ankles, in knees, in hips. Be gentle. Be gracious. It's all kind of clunky, creaky. That's what happens. It's bones. Let's do the first side again. Okay. Strong leg, standing leg. Bring the other leg up. And now we're going to do ankle circles, foot circles. So using your big toe, pretend you have paint on your toes and you're trying to make paint as big an elliptical or orb as possible. Get as much paint as you can on the floor, on the wall, on the ceiling, on the other wall, all the way around. Make it big, 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 and then reverse direction. Big, 5 big, slow circles. Move that foot. Explore that ankle joint. The knees in the air. Move it around. Ooh, so good. Whew, that starts burning a little bit, huh? Okay, other leg. Strong standing leg has a soft knee. Bring the knee up of the other leg, and here we go. 5 big, full circles. Well, they're not really circles. My mathematician friends would scold me. These are orbs. They are just elliptical parabolas. Move big, and then in the other direction. Other direction, big, big, big expression. Move that foot, move that ankle. And I know the leg's getting heavy. And I'm feeling my thigh say, hey, I'm ready to come on down. Okay, good. Good work. All right, grab your dish towel. It's time to do some shoulder work. We've done hip work. We've done spinal work. We've done some knee and leg and ankle work. Now let's do some shoulders and our last few minutes of fun together. We'll do standing, where you spread your feet wide enough that you feel comfortable and that you could come into a high squat, meaning your knees bend and your tailbone, your hips go back. Sort of, if I turn sideways, you can see a high squat. So we're going to come into a high squat. Hold the dish towel or strap, if you have a strap, where the thumbs are to the midline, thumbs are to the center, and the knuckles are forward. Come into your high squat, engage the low belly. Squeeze the legs into the midline. Even though your legs are wide, squeeze them into the midline. Engage the low belly. Raise the ribs away from the waist. Check your chin. Slide your ears back. Your hands are low. Let's start out with hands low. Pull the towel apart. Pull. Pull it apart as if pulling from edge to edge. Pull it apart and breathe. We're doing a lot of work here. This is strength work. Pull apart. Pull, pull, pull. Now we're going to raise it up to the slow count of 10. So here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. The arms and towel are going higher. 4, 3. I'm coming up towards standing. 2, 1. Now we're standing. Knees are still soft, but we're standing tall and straight. Arms are in the air overhead. Pull the towel. Pull, 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 and feel the connection down the back body. Feel the connection from the arms into the shoulder girdle, into the shoulder blades, down into your ribs, behind your back, behind your heart. Be here, breathe and pull. Maybe look up at the ceiling, or just look at the high horizon, that intersection of ceiling and wall, and then bend the elbows and come down and come out of it and do some wiggles. Okay, let's do some more strengthening. Here we go. Come down, high squat, second time. Pull it apart. So legs squeeze in, lift the low, engage the low belly, raise the ribs, lift the heart space, drop the shoulders, check the chin, slide the ears back. There's a lot going on. Play around with whether you want to stand on your heels or lean your torso, your body weight forward more into the full foot. I would like to have you experience full foot, as if you're really standing in the sand, making as big a footprint as possible. Now, 10 count, we're raising up over our heads. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Now I'll start coming to standing also with my legs. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm up over, reaching up overhead, but knees are soft. Knees have to be soft in order for the pelvis and the spine to have space to move. And look up, maybe reach back, pull apart, pull, pull, pull. Breath, big breath here. And now we're going to explore coming over to one side and then leaning forward. We're still holding the towel apart. We're pulling it apart. So we're using our muscles to pull the towel straight so that it looks like a stick. And we're rolling it around overhead. So we are pulling apart. We're extending and contracting. Now let's go the other direction. Around, back, a big circle. Come around a second time in the other direction. Overhead. Whew, that's a lot. I'm feeling it. I can't hear you, Huff and Puff. You get to hear me. Lucky you. Now let's put the towel behind us. Hold the towel the same way. Thumbs are to the center and the knuckles are forward, but the towel is now behind us. Spread your feet on the floor again, a wide stance, and it's going to be bent knees. So we're in that high squat. Pull the towel apart, but now it's behind us. Pull it apart and squeeze the shoulders and come to standing and look up at the ceiling. Well, check your chin. Bring your chin down low. Slide your ears back and pull the towel apart. Knees can be soft in order to let the pelvis adjust and the hips adjust. Pull, 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 pull. Oh, that ends up being what we call a heart opener and a back bend all at the same time. All right, move around, adjust in it, and come back to sitting. We're out of time. I have so many more fun things we could do together, but we're out of time. So you'll just have to tell Michelle and AARP Florida that you want some more, and then I can come back and we can play some more. Sit and get comfortable. Sit all the way back in your chair. Sit and just relax. Let your body go slack. Be a sloucher. This is the place to just be in it. Let your feet splay, let your legs spread out, wherever you want to sit, you do it. Get relaxed. And if you feel comfortable doing so, close your eyes and take a couple breaths just being here. Just allow your body to soften. Sometimes when we close our eyes, it lets us be a little more introspective. It allows us to go inside our bodies and actually feel what's happening. So feel your feet and your legs. Feel your hips and your back. Feel your belly and your chest. Feel your arms and your shoulders. Feel your neck and your jaw and your head. Let your body breathe itself. I will remind you what young Pueblo tells us. Allow yourself to transform as many times as you need to be fully happy and free. This is so true during our life, during our seasons, during our journeys, so many changes. We have to remember to allow ourselves to transform as many times as we need to be fully happy and free. Thank you for joining me with today's class. I know that the recording will be out, so please share it. Please give me your feedback, suggestions, recommendations. Bring your hands to heart center as we close class today. Feel your breath, feel your heart space. That is your power, that is your magic. I leave you with this loving kindness metta blessing. May we all be safe. May we be healthy. May we be peaceful. May we be happy. May we be of goodness and service to others. May we know the beauty of our own true hearts, and may we hold space and compassion for those who have the courage to change the world. Namaste. Thank you.